being the Sadat at Arms of Karachi Toastmaster Club, I welcome you all on a very good and exciting meeting of Karachi Toastmaster. Indeed, this is the 870 first meeting of the Karachi Toastmaster Club, and the theme is cricket, and we all are cricket lovers. So without any further delay, let's move towards the president of the Karachi Toastmaster Club, Toastmaster Uroosa. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
How's everyone doing?
All
We have
and anxiously waiting to start.
That's great. So we have a game of cricket in the making today. Who can tell me when was the very first game of cricket played?
I think in 1886, I guess.
Yes, 1885 or 1886, yes, between Australia and England.
Yes.
The very first game that was like informal.
I'm sorry, I wasn't born that time.
I think it was.
Things should be much earlier.
In Lagan, I think it is in Lagan.
All right, it was in 1646.
That's a highly historically
1646.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's more like it.
So primitive.
So yeah, it's a really primitive game. So now I'm no commentator and I definitely cannot use jargons. But today we are looking for a fair game. So we have one team evaluators and one team speakers. And they will be marching off into the stadium and doing their prowess and displaying it really nicely. Now what I'm looking for is a fair game. Boys and girls, fair game. So with all the teams, the tag team and everything, let's move on to our next segment, the business segment. Do we have the Toastmaster Umar?
Yes, we have. So Toastmaster Umar, can you just take us through a brief recap of the last meeting? Oh, there's a problem with his microphone. So, okay. Let me just do the segment briefly myself. And as you must have seen, ordinarily the business segment is conducted in the presence of 50% of more members, but let's assume that those of us who are not here are here with us in spirit, if not in reality. So our last meeting took place in two parts actually. The first part took place on Wednesday at the same time, and we had it was a speakerthon, and we had 10 speakers. The best speaker went to Toastmaster Mariam, Toastmaster Imran Rana. The best evaluator went to best big two was that went to Toastmaster Mohsin Jamal and Toastmaster Ali Ashar, and Critics' Choice Best Facilitator went to Toastmaster Talha Bashar. Critics' Choice Best Speaker went to Toastmaster Mariam Arif. The meeting was attended by 26 participants, and there were 10 projects delivered. Some people who could not participate in the last meeting due to last-minute scheduling issues, but they had already booked their speeches. So 4 of those speakers delivered their projects in a special meeting on Monday at 7:30 p.m. So that was the last meeting. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Talha. Now, moving on and introducing the Toastmaster of the day. He is a speaker who brings his own adventures, life adventures, and journeys and travels in every speech that he says, he narrates. Please welcome with your virtual applause the Toastmaster of today's cricket event, Toastmaster Farhan Haider.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and respected guests. Today I have 2 news for you. One is good news and the another one is bad news. Good news is this, that today I am playing a role of Toastmaster of the evening. So I'm very excited, and it is really a privilege and honor for me to become a host of the evening today. And bad news is for you guys, because it's the same news. Because today I'm playing a role of Toastmaster of the evening first time, so you guys must be worried, because I assure you one thing, that I will make so many mistakes, and you guys have to bear me at least for 3 hours. It could be more. So you don't have any choice. So have some patience and keep smiling. Okay, so before starting the meeting and talk about the theme of the today, I would like to give you the small intro about today Toastmaster meeting. Basically, we have got 3 segments today. We will kick off from prepared speeches. In prepared speeches, speakers will have to deliver the speech according to their curriculum. Then we will move into table topic session, and last but not the least, evaluation segment. And this segment is very important, because without evaluation, we cannot judge ourselves. Evaluator will tell us that in which area we can improve. So this segment is really very important. So hold your seats, and now we come to the theme. Just a minute. Yes, guys. Today I will discuss about a game which is a life of every Pakistani. Every Pakistani is very passionate about this sport. We can give our life for cricket and we can die for cricket. So today we will talk about cricket a lot. I will not talk about the history. We will try to tribute our cricket legends and also talk about achievement of Pakistan in cricket. So I think we should go to the ground, and I think before going to the ground, to conduct this session today, we need some facilitators, helpers, and we call them role players. We have assigned some roles to the different Toastmasters. So first I will
It seems like raining has interrupted the match.
Is it the rain or the floodlights?
This is due to K Electric. The load shedding is happening in the stadium.
He's back.
Perhaps two of the people said that is the sixer by Toastmaster, and indeed hit right out of the stadium. So two of the Toastmasters said that, and since he was doing so well, naturally he got kicked out of the team.
So PCB like.
So
maybe we can wait for him to come back.
He's our Fawad Alam. Maybe someone continue. If he comes back, then we can give charge back to him.
either
He's saying 2 minutes. Wait only 2 minutes and he'll be back.
So
okay.
In 2 minutes, we can have 2 or 3 role holders.
Yes, let's just introduce the role holders, and in the meantime, he'll be back. So first, I think let the word master please introduce your role.
All right. So the word of the day is strike. The word has a verb meaning and a noun meaning. The verb, if you use it as a verb, it is to hit forcibly, and if you use it as a noun, it is a refusal to work by an organized body or a sudden attack. But if you use it in the cricket meaning, then it is a strike rate. So that is pretty much understandable to everyone. So please use it as you want and as you please today. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, I believe a grammarian is next, so I'll be doing the grammarian today. The grammarian has two roles. The first role is to note and highlight good usage of language and creative usage of language and highlight it. And the second role is to catch any errors made in the language and point out the correct usages without taking any names. I'll be presenting my report at the end of the meeting, and seeing that our Toastmaster of the day and our star batsman is back. Over to you, Toastmaster Farhan. Haider. We've just gotten through introduction of wordmaster and grammar. You can take it, grammarian, you can take it from there.
Okay, sorry for the interruption, electricity issue. So I think next facilitator is grammarian. TM Ali Zargan, could you tell us about
grammarian
your role?
done.
Grammar done. And
Yeah.
wordmaster?
Done.
Done. Vote counter? So we will ask from vote counter to please describe their role today. Vote counter. Hello?
Apologies, I have a camera on a different screen and it's a bit confusing. Good evening, everyone. This is Toastmaster Hina Ali, and I will be your vote counter of the day. At the end of each of the sessions, that is prepared speeches, table topics, evaluation, and after all the big four have completed their facilitation roles, I will be sharing a link for the voting through Zoom, and it'll be a Google Forms link. So please provide your votes so that we can choose the best of the best from today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Great, TM Hina Ali. Thanks for your assistance. And now we will move to joke master, TM Hiba Rais Khan.
TM Farhan, I think I'm the joke master for today. Mohsin.
Okay.
No, it's me. Or TM Mohsin, is it you?
Let's
Because
have two joke masters today.
TM,
okay, I'll give.
Okay.
So you are in the fielding side and you are in the batting side.
Fine, I'll give
I
one.
think we
You
need
can
a third
give
umpire
Mohsin,
here.
you can give the other one.
We can flip the coin.
I think we need a
So let's
third
hear
umpire.
from both of them. Let's hear from both of them. We want to laugh more.
It's a good idea.
Okay, let me go first then. What do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop. What do you call a pig that does karate? A pork chop. TM Mohsin, your turn.
So, Assalamu alaikum everyone. So a loaded minivan pulled into our remaining campsite. 4 children jumped out of the vehicle and quickly started unloading the things. The women and the girls started setting up the stove. A person in the adjacent campsite looked at this and said to the father, "Wow, what a display of teamwork." The father said, "I have a system. No one goes to the bathroom until the cam is set." So over to you.
Great, TM Mohsin Jamal. Now we will have a timer. TM Imran Rana, could you please describe your role today?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Farhan. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm the timer today. My role is to make sure that the meeting proceedings are on time. My role actually has started. So there will be different timing for different segments. For table topic, the speaker has to speak from 1 minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At 1 minute, I'll show the green card. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow card. At 2 minutes, I'll show the red card. This means the speaker has to wrap up his speech because after 30 seconds, he is going to be disqualified. And the same way, prepared speeches for 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green card at 5 minutes, then yellow card at 6 minutes, then red card at 7 minutes. This means that the speaker has to wrap up his speech in 30 seconds. Before, after 30 seconds, the speaker will be disqualified for voting. Over to you, Toastmaster Farhan.
Great, TM Imran. Thanks for really appreciate your assistance and support today. Now we will move to our counter. Who is our counter today?
It's
Because
me. Okay,
TM
as the
Ibarra
yes. As the R counter, I'll be making note of all the filler words and the filler words used by the speakers in the prepared speech session and the table topic session by the speakers overall. Thank you.
Thank you, TM
Presenting presenting the report at the end of the session. Thank you.
Great. Now we have our counter. Now we have listener TM Talha Basharat. Talha Basharat is here.
It's me, Latif.
Toastmaster Latif.
TM Latif. Okay, carry on,
Yes.
TM Latif, please.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very extravaganza game. I, as a listener, will note down all the short mentions of the speakers and ask near the end of the meeting questions about their sentence and everything. I am the deck host also, so my role will be to make the gameplay fair and in discipline. So I will be taking care of all the extras, those who are not the speakers. Other than the speakers, I will be muting their mic. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for sharing your role today. Now we have technical host.
Oh, I just did.
Okay, you have done it?
Yes, together.
So all facilitators has been done, I think. Right. So now I'm requesting to everybody, so please reach to the ground as soon as possible, because if you get late, you will not find a ticket. And I'm coming within 30 seconds, please. Good evening, friends. Right now, I am sitting in the gallery of Toastmasters Stadium. There is a lot of noise in the stadium. The stadium is fully jam-packed. I can hear the heat. Sweet breeze is blowing outside. The crowd is very much excited, and the match is start to begin. Right now, we have got 8 players today. 8 are famous players. So it is going to be a cutthroat competition. So first I will introduce my opener, TM Mohammad Asghar. TM Mohammad Asghar, you are an opener today and you have a lot of responsibility today. You have to set the partnership and remember, I remember in late 70s and early 80s, West Indies was the strongest team in the world, and we called them Kali Andhi. I'm talking about my childhood days. And there was a fabulous opening couple, Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenish. I've never seen like them. They were both very aggressive, very consistency. So TM Asghar, you have to bat like Desmond Haynes and Gordon Greenish. And your evaluation is being done by TM Babar Ali. TM Babar Ali, please describe the project of TM Mohammad Asghar. That means you have to describe the batting performance of TM Mohammad Asghar. TM Babar Ali Hasnain.
Can you hear me all?
Yes, we can hear you. You are audible.
Okay, perfect. Glad to see the innovative and creative side of Karachi Toastmasters Club. The cricket theme with all arrangements sounds and looks so fantastic. Appreciate all your efforts. But before I move on to evaluation part, I think everyone should have the courage to speak and prefer his or her likes and dislikes. And I belong to that very niche class who whatsoever do not like cricket at all. The only kinds of cricket matches I have watched are like either the World Cup or Pakistan versus India. That is all. Otherwise, it's always my backside that watches the cricket matches. And if you are also from the same class, just give me a thumbs up in the chat. Would appreciate it. And finally, moving on to the evaluation part. I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Asghar, and he has come up with an interesting speech. That the speech title is "A Love Affair Gone Wrong," and he is following the pathway innovative planning level 3. So basically, the purpose of the speech is he will be using literary language to add flavor to his speech. Now he uses the art of planning Asghar for the speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali Hasnain. So TM Asghar, over to you.
Thank you, Ali Hasnain. Thank you, Farhan. Farhan, sometime when Gordon Gernich and Desmond Haynes failed, to immediately after Richie Richardson come and rescue them. So be careful. Take that in your mind. I'm sure I'm audible. Let me know if I'm not too audible.
You are audible, that too visible.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
Mr. President, dear Toastmasters, and guest if there is any, I can't see. Audience expect several things in order to be fully satisfied with a story, including realistic characters, dramatic backdrops, reasonable storyline, and of course, a happy ending. Now, it is quite difficult to find a love story which ticks all the boxes, or even half of them when it comes to the heart-wrenching love story of 30-year-old Sakina. After a love story in quote, after a love marriage in quote, Sakina took refuge in our hometown with a charming prince to escape the wrath of her family. She was so beautiful that as a knight in her knight in the shining armor could have waited an eternity for her. Not everyone knew Sakina by her name. She gradually became famous by the name of Baji in my town. Some unscrupulous locals distorted the word Baji into Bijli. And this was not without a reason. Her long, shining, glittering hair was like a golden river. Her bright voice was a music for everyone's ear. She was everything for the town. This is not to say that everyone was made after her or she was not a good woman. She was merely upsetting the natural order of the things in the town with her sugary smile. She was also a welcomed guest among the local women, not because she sold clothes door to door, but also because she had her ear on the ground. And she plugged in with the gossiping class of the town. Venturing outside, talking to the stranger, having a cigarette in her between her finger and between her middle and ring finger. She was a visible fixture in the town. 20 years old Asghar was in woo. He had never seen and watched such women in real life and only watched such women in movies and had read in stories. One of her images is still stuck in my mind. The way she lit her cigarette, put everyone's heart aflame. In a very old-fashioned way, she took her match, her back turned to the wind. She struck the match and the curl her finger to make to form a claw like a sanctuary as a windproof safe place for her cigarette. Dear Toastmasters, when I visited my hometown after 1 year, the most unexpected happened. I spotted her in a tea shop and inched toward her and started to talk with her because I had seen her after a quarter of century. The fate had taken an unexpected turn in past 25 years. Bijli lost her sparkle. She had become merely a farmer shadow. The thread of the magic which bound her with her husband had snapped. Our erstwhile comrade of the soul left her for another woman, leaving her in the lurch. Now, this didn't come overnight. The tipping point took time to arrive. She said that they fought like a cats and dog for years before departed. She felt that she had been living her life in a chain with her husband. Though I listened her with sympathetic ear, I found that several dots had been missing from her story. What I had deducted was the fault was her age, because age is the worst nightmare for every mortal, more so for a beautiful woman with nothing else to fall upon. 55 years old Bijli's skin started to get drier. Spiky little wrinkled and embedded themselves in her skin like a fine gossamer web that she couldn't fight away. Meanwhile, our tea arrived. With watery eyes and itchy throat, she took a quick sip to finish immediately her tea and started to light a cigarette in her signature way. Whereas I slurped the tea like this. Because to me, tea is meant to be slurped. And I always take my tea while slurping it. After the tea, we both got up. My forehead had beaded with sweat. I took my grimy sleeves to absorb the perspiration from my forehead and upper lips. She trickled her cigarette. Ash fell down and tip of the cigarette glued. She had murmured goodbye to me. Her departing goodbye was piercing and was pregnant with meaning. That was the last time I saw her. As a defiant woman, her life had never been a secure one. But in the following months, the following month when we meet, the alarming bell was ringing in a deafening silence. What happened after our meeting not only had been predictable, but had also been precisely predicted. One dark night, she was chased, encircled, and hacked to death. Hardly a squeak had been uttered. The apparent open and shut case still remains a blind murder in local official data in our town. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Great TM Asghar, you never disappoint us. Although it was not a batting track, there was a lot of grass I was seeing on the pitch, but you batted very well. You build a partnership, you have almost crossed past 10 to 15 overs and set the good momentum. Keep it up, man. So today we have some batsmen, few bowlers, and some good all-rounders. Now we will turn into another position, that is one down position. And one down position is like a backbone of any team. Every team brings specialist batsmen on this position. So now we have TM Uroosa Mohsin. She will be coming on this position, and she will be evaluated by TM Imran Rana. So TM Imran Rana, could you please describe the role of TM Uroosa Mohsin? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Uroosa Mohsin, an all-rounder, is going to deliver her podcast today. The object of the podcast is review the members' blog and evaluate it based on the criteria listed below. Take a moment to include examples where possible. So, Toastmaster Uroosa, the stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran. First of all, it's really pleasant to see you all after such a long time, my long time, because I have been like totally out of touch.
Toastmaster Uroosa, we can't hear you.
You are not clearly audible.
You can't hear me.
No, that was a grammatically incorrect sentence. You are not at all audible.
Okay, can you hear me now? I'm taking my AirPods out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
now you are audible.
Now I'm audible?
Yeah.
Can I start now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
TM Uroosa, you have to set the momentum of the game because you are coming in one down position.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Farhan. So good evening to everyone. It's been a long time that I have been in the meetings. Apparently, my grandmother was unwell. Then I was procrastinating thanks to DTM Talha. I think sometimes one does need a push. Though I was also supposed to cancel this, I've been having these severe stomach infections in the past few days. But I thought it's better to just throw a sixer around yourself for your team rather than beating your team to the other one. So I'm really grateful to all of you. Thankfully, I started this, so since it's my level 4, sorry I can't stand up. I'm not doing so well today to stand up and do it. But apparently about my blog, so it was back in the year 2017. I was in USA at Palm Beach, Florida, and I was attending this seminar, and there were like around 12,000 people who are a part of it. So sometimes I think soon I'll be sharing my journey of that at the Toastmaster event, hopefully. So what happened was, it was back in 2017 when I thought to myself that, I'm going to start and initiate a blog somewhere, something which could benefit everyone. So I think it was January 2018 when I first started my first blog. It's by my own name, Uroosa Mohsin. My name is Uroosa Mohsin. You all know that. It's by my website is by my own name. I started that as a goodwill gesture, just to showcase what I could give to the world around there, how I could serve. But apparently, the people who know me, I don't really market my blogs much. I think that's something that I need to work on. However, I'm still grateful that people who know me, they do come around and they do check on and off about what I'm doing and what I've written and what I'm up to. So I think that's something that probably I'm still having people who can vouch for what I do. And so yeah, so what I write about is all about, okay, I can't see a timer anywhere, I don't know why. Anyways, so the idea of my blog was all about on personal development. I come quite often, share some quotations, something that I could share with the world around, something that I learned and people could benefit. So yeah, that's about it. I still can't see the timer. If anybody could just indicate why isn't the timer available for me. So yeah. So yeah, that's about it. I hope I'm on time. Sorry, I can't see the timer.
Imran is the timer.
But I can't see any cards, any indication from him still. I don't know why.
The podcast is 5 to 7 minutes, right?
No, it's 2 to 3 minutes. It's not a podcast, basically. It's yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was 2 to 3 minutes. So that is why I was wondering. I've already done 2 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Toastmaster Farhan, you're on mute.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt. Actually, Toastmaster Ibar Rais has lost her power and she is the R counter for today. So can anyone take over as R counter till she is able to rejoin? Maybe Toastmaster Saad Khan or Toastmaster Amir Bilal. Any of you can take up R counter?
Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amir. So, okay. So there you go. And okay.
Excellent, TM Uroosa, and I'm very glad that I sent you in the right position. You were playing like Virat Kohli, Babar Azam, and Kate Williamson, and you had a perfect cover drive. You were hitting everywhere. So that was really awesome. So before calling to the next batsman, I think it's a time for Maghrib prayer. Am I right?
We can still have one speaker.
Okay. Now I have another position, another great batsman, which a place of middle order. I would like to invite TM Anam Qadri. Anam Qadri is here.
Yeah, actually, she was at the 4th position, but she abruptly went for breakfast. So we will have to move her position down a couple positions. And meanwhile, if we can call up the next speaker, DTM Uneeb, that would be perfect.
Yeah, DTM Uneeb is the perfect batsman for the place of middle order, because in this position you have to build a partnership. You have to retain the scores and playing slowly. So DTM Uneeb will be evaluating by DTM Talha bin Hamid. So DTM Talha bin Hamid, please describe the role of DTM Uneeb.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. So today we have an icebreaker from a speaker who is going on the stage for the first time. So it is our obligation to encourage him and to cheer him on to the extent possible. He's a debutant, but he's a debutant only in pathways. So he is a famous international player. He's already achieved DTM certification. He's an engineer. He's a passionate Toastmaster, and he is known for his eloquent and very, very dedicated brand of speech making, which includes not only verbal eloquence, but also a very sturdy work ethic, and he's working as a plant manager at Hubco currently. So DTM Uneeb, if there's anything left in your icebreaker to tell us about, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
So everyone, please put your hands together for DTM Uneeb, whose pathway is visionary communication, and he's breaking the ice today.
It was class 2 at St. Mary's High School, Lahore. I was in the class waiting for my quarterly assessment result. As our class teacher moved around, handing over the report cards, my pulse was racing and my heart was pounding. This was the moment which was most anxious. I closed my eyes and wished that my report card would say a good student. That was the comment attributed to exceptional performance in those days. Eventually, when I did receive my card, there were 3 folds in that card. I opened the first fold, the second fold, and the third fold. What I looked at, I just couldn't believe it. There was no comment in that. It was empty. I folded my report card back into the bag, took my bag back to my house, started working again. 3 months down the line, it was annual assessment day. And the same thing, I was handed over the card. I picked up the card, opened the first fold, the second fold, and the third fold. What I saw, I just couldn't believe it. A good student. That was the comment I was waiting for all my life, which was only 6 years old. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, youngest of 6 siblings, I was a good enough student. There were smarter kids around me, but Alva Edison's saying that genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration held very well for me. My journey took me to various academic institutes, including FC College Lahore for my interest studies, University of Engineering and Technology for my first degree in mechanical engineering, University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA for my master's degree, and to University of London Imperial College for my doctorate degree. As I attained my doctorate degree, I could write doctor in front of my name. Often this becomes a source of confusion for many. People come in for various treatments. Headache, neckache, and backache are very common for me, and I often oblige people. An interesting event happened recently when a golfing caddy came closer to me and just took off his pea cap and showed his head. He was seeking a remedy for his falling hair. In my life, there have been a number of instances when I closed my eyes and I desired for something. I had no idea how this would happen, but eventually I got there. I was a table tennis player. I wanted to play for the national team. I played in the national championship. The highest ranking I could get was #1 in universities. I closed my eyes and desired to play in international competitions. When I went to America and studied at University of Wisconsin, I sent my wild entry to play at US Open. I got accepted. When I went to East Miami Beach, the venue was huge. I could see players all over the place from 50 countries and tables all over the place. I started warming up for my first match. And as I looked around, I saw my players from my country, Pakistan. And they were also playing, and I was also competing. Don't ask me what the result of Pakistan team was. It was no different than Pakistan cricket team's result normally. I hope you get what I mean. And would you like to ask my own result? I matched Pakistan team's result. When I was about to complete my studies, I closed my eyes and dreamed to have a girl from Kinnaird College, Lahore, to have been married to Kinnaird College girl. Few years down the line, I was married to the dream girl of my life from Kinnaird College. Today, I have 3 beautiful daughters. They are all different, but they have one thing common. They are all Toastmasters. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, thoughts have power. As Napoleon Hill, author of Think thoughts are things, powerful things, combined with purpose, persistence, and burning desire to achieve the riches. So next time, if you have a desire, just close your eyes, wish for that something, have full confidence that you will attain that. Mr. Toastmaster.
Great DTM, Uneeb, and I must say that you are one of the experienced batsmen in our team, and you have proof again. You were batting like Vivian Richards, Javed Mirdad, and Steve Waugh, and you were not hitting 4 and 6s. You were only also concentrating on singles. So hats off to you. So before moving to the next player, I think we should have a Maghrib break, and we will be meeting in the ground after 10 minutes.
Before we go for the break, let's take an introduction from our guests that are waiting.
Okay.
All right, so we have
Toastmaster Uroosa, I suggest, sorry for the interruption.
Sure.
Okay, just go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So there is a lady, Sania Javed. Would you please unmute your mic and tell us a little bit about yourself?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
मेरा नाम सानिया जावेद है और मैं करंटली अंडर ग्रेजुएट हूँ, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग कर रही हूँ एनईटी से, और मैं करंटली 3rd ईयर में हूँ। That's it.
All right. Welcome to Karachi Toastmasters Club.
Thank you.
And there is Faizan Hassan. Yeah, would you unmute your mic? All right. So I think there is no one behind that screen. Then we have our club growth director, DTM Malik Umair. And he
Thank you
needs
so
no
much.
introduction.
Thank you so much, Ma'am President. It's very kind of you. It's absolutely a lovely experience. I just a few minutes back, I reached home from office and I switched on the Facebook, and there I saw your meeting going on live. So I thought I should drop by and enjoy the wonderful experience on cricket theme that you are having. And it's been an absolutely amazing experience listening to the wonderful speakers and the amazing and inspiring thought processes that they have. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us, DTM Malik, and I hope you'll stay on after the break as well.
Inshallah.
All right, so now we can break for prayer, and let's join back after 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's 7:30, so we should reconvene at 7:40, everyone. Mr. Timer, please keep track of the reconvening time.
Yes, I have started the stopwatch.
Okay.
So I will be seeing you everyone in the stadium after 10 minutes.
Toastmaster Farhan. Toastmaster Farhan, match referee, please. We can start. 10 minutes past. The break time is over. All the players are requested to please join.
हेलो हाँ सॉरी मैंने एक बार पूछना था मैं आपने नोट किया था
सॉरी
हेलो
हेलो जी
आमिर आमिर
Whenever your microphone is unmuted.
ओके
चलो
We can resume now. Toastmaster Farhan. It's already 11 minutes.
Yes, we can move on to the next speaker. So, yeah, Toastmaster Farhan is here. Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Glad to see you, everybody. So, as I told you earlier, that we have a bunch of players. Some are batsmen, some all-rounders, and some bowlers. So now it's a time of all-rounders. I remember that in 80s, there were 4 great all-rounders who ruled in the world of cricket. Imran Khan, Kapil Dev, Ian Botham, and Richard Headley. And they were a tough competition between them. So now I would like to call Mariam Arif in a position of all-rounder. Mariam Arif, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And she will be evaluating by DTM Shanawaz. DTM Shanawaz, please describe her role. Her project.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Oh, okay. So Toastmaster Mariam Arif, she is going to be presenting her project and title, Presentation Mastery 1, Evaluation and Feedback 1. The title of her speech is The Lesson of History That No One Learns. Purpose of her speech is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present the speech and receive the feedback from the evaluator. Timer, the time of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Mariam, wish you all the best.
Okay, I just had a question. Who was the timer?
Toastmaster Imran.
Okay, just a minute. Let me pin the timer.
Your speech time is 5 to 7 minutes.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Alliances, imperialism, militarism, nationalism, crisis, and finally, the assassination of an Austrian archduke, Franz Ferdinand, and his wife, Sophie, by a Bosnian revolutionary, Gavrilo Princip, on 28th June 1914, triggered the First World War.
And very soon, an arena of death was staged, where the air was filled with the stench of rotten corpses, where only screams of dying men and women could be heard, and one could see nothing but bloodshed, nothing but mass destruction. Places that people called their homes were very soon turned into hazy battlefields covered with mud, shells, and barbed wires, where the sound of gunfire created a deafening roar of bombardment while innumerable people were being ruthlessly murdered. And so, fellow Toastmasters and guests, this was one of the deadliest and largest battles, conflicts in the history of mankind, in which an estimated of 9 million combatants and 7 million civilian deaths took place. But this bloodshed, this violence, this destruction was celebrated by Britain, France, and its allies when 4.5 years later, Germany and its allies realized that, oh, it's no longer possible for us to win this war, and had to eventually sign an armistice or an agreement of peace on 11th November 1918 that caused this fighting to stop. Now, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what do you think should have happened after the First World War? And I know the answer of what a sane person would say. Any sane person would say that obviously a lesson should have been learned. A lesson to not trust the wisdom of the crowd cheering for a war, because their minds are often manipulated by mass marketing, by professional propaganda that made them believe that this war was simply happening to end all wars. A war to end wars. Oh, the irony. A lesson that bloodshed and violence are always avoidable, no matter what. So when a war happens, it is because it has been actively chosen, when peace was always an option and can be blamed on conspiracies. But no, fellow Toastmasters and guests, no. No lesson was learned and no wisdom was gained, as a disastrous peace treaty known as the Treaty of Versailles was imposed on Germany that entirely blamed them for the First World War and enforced punitive military, territorial, and economic provisions that forced them to pay billions of dollars in compensation. This was followed by such economic, military, financial, and diplomatic policies that, not to our surprise, led to the rise of leaders like the notorious Adolf Hitler in Germany, like the Italian fascist dictator Benito Mussolini, or the militarist Hideki Tojo in Japan. And now, once again, Germany's invasion, this time on Poland, triggered the Second World War. History repeated itself, for the bloodshed and violence that followed led to the killing of 70 to 85 million people. And these include massacres, genocide, the Holocaust, and deaths from diseases, deaths from starvation. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today, as tensions escalate between India and Pakistan, the two nuclear-armed countries, at a military confrontation across the de facto border of Kashmir. Today, as a few months ago, the United States of America assassinates an Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani that brought these two countries near the brink of a war. Today, as the airstrikes in Syria and Palestine keep on killing civilians, as the war in Afghanistan keeps on destroying lives of thousands of people, as the humanitarian crisis in Yemen keeps on worsening, I wonder, why don't we learn from the mistakes of our past? Why don't we understand? Why don't we learn from the miseries that war has previously inflicted upon us? Why don't we understand this one simple thing, that in a war, there are no winners? Because all it gives us is pain. All it gives us is suffering. I get the answer to my question in this quote by Steven Erikson that says that the lesson of history is that no one learns. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmaster Farhan, please unmute yourself.
Great team, Mariam, Arif. You came in a position of all-rounder and team needed a big score. And you did it. You scored 100 runs in last 10 overs and you were hitting 4 and 6 everywhere and nobody could out you. And you accelerated the run rate also. Great job. I'm really proud of you. Now it's a time of bowling. Bowlers have to prove themselves. So now we have TM Mohsin Jamal do a spin bowling. Although wicket is very flat, ball is not getting a spin, but we look forward from you that do some kind of miracles. TM Mohsin Jamal will be evaluating by TM Hiba Rais. Ma'am, please could you describe the role of the project of TM Mohsin Jamal?
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, TM Mohsin Jamal is doing his presentation mastery level 1, researching and presenting. And the topic for his speech is mechanical watches. The time duration is 5 to 7 minutes. And the objectives for his speech are the purpose statement. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Ladies and gentlemen, TM Mohsin Jamal.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I need to share my my screen. If you could make me a co-host.
You are visible.
Okay, just a second. Let me share my screen.
Mohsin, you can take a ball from me.
Okay. Team Imran, please don't start the time. I need to share my screen. Just a second.
I will start your time when you start your speech.
Okay. So, can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
see
we can
mechanical
see it.
watches written on it, right?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, so now you can start the time, Team Imran. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I've always been interested in collecting mechanical watches. So, interested in collecting watches. Now, I was interested in watches, but some time ago I got to know about mechanical watches, and so I've been collecting them because time is priceless, but watches are not. Now, the watches can be divided based on their movement. So the movement is the engine of the watch, and the movement can be classified as quartz and mechanical. So let me go quickly over quartz watch so I can focus on mechanical watch, which is the topic of my presentation. So quartz watches utilize battery as its primary source of energy. It is a watch that most of you must have seen in your life. most of you must have owned them. Now, few characteristics of quad watch. First of all, they have very few moving parts. Secondly, they are very accurate. They are very low cost. For maintenance, you just need to change the battery after every 2 or 3 years, and that's it. And plus, with technological advancement, a lot of features have been added in it. So you can find a lot of cool features in the watch. But, when you remove the back case of the watch, of the quartz watch, all you see is something like this. And as a watch enthusiast, we are not impressed. Now let's get down to business. Now, when you remove the back case of a mechanical watch, you see something like this. And I will let you see the beautiful thing for a few seconds. Now, moving forward, we are really excited now. So mechanical watches use, basically, you need to wind the crown. Crown is the piece that that you use to change the time. You need to wind this watch, and it basically stores the energy in a spring that is inside the watch, which we call the mainspring. So, and with time, the spring releases the energy and transfers it through a series of gears and spring and give you the time. So this is how the mainspring looks. So you can think of mechanical watch as very similar to wind up twice. They look, you must have seen this when you were kids. So they work on a very similar principle. So I will not cover the anatomy of the watch. So the mechanical watches can be further classified into manual watches and automatic watches. So in the manual watch, you basically have to wind the watch with using the crown. The crown is the part that you use to change the time. And this basically stores the potential energy in the spring. So the spring is wounded using the mechanical action, manual action. The other type of watch is automatic watch. Now the automatic watch is self-winding. You don't need to wind it every time you're wearing it, and it winds it on its own. So let me tell you how automatic watch works. So automatic watch has a rotor, a metal weight. So as you can see in this watch, the part where Rolex is written, it's actually the rotor. So as you move your hand around, the rotor rotates freely, and it basically winds the mainspring for you. So every time as long as you're wearing the automatic watch, you don't need to wind it. So these are the same thing that I just told you about. Moving along. So let me tell you about complications. So as you all must be aware that the main function of watch is to tell time. So any feature in a watch that is in exception to the time, that tells you in exception to time, is called complication in mechanical watches. So the complications could be like date, calendar, chronograph, time zone. So these are all features that are counted as complication in a mechanical watch. So why, as a mechanical watch enthusiast, we seek mechanical watches? First of all, for the craftsmanship, because it needs so many skills to arrange all those gears, and the more complications. And the second reason is the more complications, you need really innovative design, because you need all these complicated gears to be put together, and so these all complications can be added. So there are some downsides of mechanical watches. First of all, there's a power reserve. So as I told you that the manual watch needs to be winded, and for the automatic watch, you need to wear it and move your hand as you, and the spring is wounded in that way. So if you don't wear the watch for like 40 hours, the watch will stop working, and then you will have to again wind the spring in manual watch. And if the good thing about automatic watch is that as long as you're wearing it, so the watch will keep winding it, and you won't have to wind it every time you're wearing it. Secondly, they are very expensive. They could be expensive, especially the Swiss made, because they are hand assembled. And the third thing is that there is some issue with the time accuracy, because they were working on gears. So in every 24 hours, there's some loss of seconds. Like the loss could be 20 seconds, and the most efficient one has loss of 1 second or less than that. So there are watches that are very accurate too. The quartz watch don't have these downfalls. So let me tell you about the most complicated watch in the world. So this is Veteran Constantine reference 57260. Now this watch looks something like this. Now look at this beauty. So this watch has 57 complications. So other than time, it has 57 complications in it, and it is not digital. It's completely working on gears. It took 8 years to assemble this watch. And as you can see, it has 2 dials. The 2 dials are here. Some of the complications that this watch has, other than time, are perpetual calendar, Hebrew calendar, astronomical calendar, lunar calendar, alarm, chronograph. So these are some of the features among the 57 complications. So the estimated price for this watch was around $10 million. So in the end, I would like to leave you with a saying from a very wise man. Steal a man's wallet and he will be poor for a week. Teach him to love watches and he will be poor forever. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster of the evening.
Dear Mohsin, Jamal, you bowled very well today. Although it was a flat wicket, but lot of variety we saw in your over. You did leg cutter, you introduced Dusra, and you delivered Gukli, and you were as good as Shane Warne, Abdul Qadir, and Murli Dharan. Keep it up, man. And it was very difficult for the batsman to read your ball. Great job, man. So now it's a time of fast bowling.
Excuse me, sorry. The player that had taken temporary retirement earlier has now returned to the pitch. So Toastmaster Anam Qadri can be called.
Okay. So welcome to the team, Anam Qadri. Now you are playing a role of fast bowler. And I remember in 90s, there were 2 Ws who ruled the whole world. One was left arm fast bowler and the other one was right arm. And they were lethals. They had a lot of varieties. And Pakistan was fortunate to have that kind of fast bowler. So TM Anam Qadri, this is a good time for you. Wicket is very bouncy and we look forward some bouncers and Yorker from your end. And TM Anam Qadri will be evaluating by TM Uroosa Kanwal. TM Uroosa Kanwal, please describe her project today, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Toastmaster Anam will be giving her speech from Manage Projects Successfully. It will be the first speech. Her purpose of her project is to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of her team. The purpose of the first speech is for the member to give a short overview of the plan of her project. Toastmaster Anam, I have just the evaluation form for the first speech. Are you going to give the second speech as well?
I sent you the evaluation sheet for both.
I received only one.
Please scroll down. I think it would be, is it scrollable? Is the PDF file scrollable?
Oh yes, it is scrollable. Okay, fine. I have both. Yeah. Over to you, Toastmaster Anam.
Okay, before starting, please advise me how the timing signals goes.
Her first speech is 2 to 3 minutes, and her second speech is 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, 2 to 3 minutes.
First speech is 2 to 3 minutes, and second speech is 5 to 7 minutes.
Perfect.
Over to you, Toastmaster Anam.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, being a teacher, one fine day, my school decided that, okay, let's hold a competition among the teachers. Let's see how they can pick up just one trait and encapsulate or invite the students to adopt that trait. That trait being something to groom them well in the long run. So, my dear Toastmasters, your at your service, Ms. Anam Qadri, decided to take over the helping the needy people. And for that, we decided to stage a drama that would be a fundraiser, and the fund would be given to the SOS village. And here I was with the proposal to my principal, telling her that I'll be doing the marketing, from the marketing to the script writing to the training, everything that would be done absolutely by me and my students. And this was approved by my principal willingly, although she looked at me like that, how are you going to manage it so all alone? But I said, oh ma'am, don't worry. I'm used to that. I'll do it for you. And that ended up, in fact, that began with those days in which I wanted to tear my hair out or do something, even commit suicide. Because what I'm about to tell you is a story that nobody would have experienced, not as a teacher. Thank you so much. So moving on to my second part of the project. I started off by script writing, an idea that came into my mind, that since we are raising the fund for the children, why not invite such an idea that would be understandable and comprehensive enough for the children as well, for the SOS children as well, if we are willing to actually show them that what were the efforts in the long run. Or, since we all know that children are the key factors which gains and which invites a lot of votes and a lot of funds. It's not that I'm feeling devilish, but yes, they're cute. And everybody comes after cuteness, especially with the prevalent conditions. Everybody wants something fresh, something new, something nice and blooming. So I started off with the script writing. I took off the idea that, okay, we'll be working on something thrilling, something detective. And for that, I chose the character of Sherlock Holmes. But no. It wasn't the Sherlock Holmes. It was a play after a detective girl, Charlotte Holmes. The idea was to tell the people that by the name of Holmes, they will grasp the idea that, okay, this is supposed to be a detective play. But then by the name Charlotte, they'll know that, well, this is something different from the usual sense. So let's go watch it. The first thing for the marketing and the first thing to invite most of the people to come watch us. And the days began. I took over this name, tried a lot of ways to market them by just the moment a minute ago I did. In similar way, I did it for others as well. Second day, script was all ready. Now the time was for the auditions. Unfortunately, we had just 2 ladies, 2 girls in our play, and the rest of them were all guys. And you know, girls, melodramatic, extra dramatic, they want to come after it. They are already so dramatic in their nature that it's not difficult for them to act over. Sorry to say, I'm a girl as well, but even boys are not that low-key. But let's not get into that debate. I started off, the girls even wanted to become guys in my play. They were ready to do that for the sake of the play. But then guys also wanted to be a part of it. So quarreling, fighting, arguing over various things, I finally was able to do the auditions and shortlist 2 girls for the play and the rest of the boys, and that took me almost the entire day. Day number 2, I decided to give them the script. Okay, this is your script. You have to memorize it. Since they were students, they first looked at the script, the length of it, the width of it, and whined, "Miss, this is too much." Well, kid, you are in for a play. So why all this mess? And finally, after all that whining and everything and creating a chaos around, they finally sat down to memorize the script. But then, "Miss, he's plucking my hair. Miss, he's speaking after me. Miss, he's not waiting for me to finish my dialogues." This is what I heard. And I said, what on earth made me think that I could go on with the students, with my students, to carry on with the play? If this is so, we won't end up with anything by the end of day 10. Day 3. I finally asked them to sit down every corner, the teacher in me, obviously, and then ask them to memorize it. So by the end of the day, finally, we had something in the form of a draft for the drama. Day 4. Some of the kids didn't turn up all of a sudden. My goodness, I am back to 0 level. How is this possible? I have to train everybody once again? I called them up. Came to know that, okay, due to overwork or overstress, but I don't know where they get it from, because the previous day they were all busy in fighting and quarreling with each other. They had gotten a little ill, so they were taking a day off. I asked their mothers, please get a prescription and get them ready by tomorrow, because I cannot afford to lose any of them. Well, day 5, they were back with their memorized skips, with the play. Something was now on the floor. But then, with everything already summing up, I had to think of the backdrop. I had to think of the playback music files that I had to put up during the play. And this took us 3 more days to finally settle down, shape it up in the form of a drama, in a real drama, with the playbacks, with those effects, with the proper exclamations, with the proper scenario. And finally, we were able to get something. So proud of me. So proud of my students. And in the end, it was a really great drama. It invited a lot of work, a lot of votes, and a lot of funds. But the key thing that I learned from all this scenario was that sometimes you have to employ a team. You have to engage a team to do your work, because you alone cannot do anything. If you want to, there is a saying that if you want to go fast, you can do it alone. But if you want to go far, engage and bring in a team to work forward. Mr. Toastmaster.
Great TM Anam Qadri. You had 2 spells today and you were looking in a great momentum today. Your bouncers were really unplayable and you threw some reverse swing also, and you took advantage of the wicket condition. You took 4 wickets in just 2 overs. So great bowling, TM Anam Qadri. So now move on. So far match is underway and I'm enjoying a lot. Weather condition is very good. And now I would like to introduce another bowler, very finest bowler, TM Shamam Khan. And she is being evaluated by TM Mohammad Asghar. So please, TM Mohammad Asghar, please describe her project.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Farhan. Thank you being so energetic today. Dear all, I'm sure everyone knows TM Shamam. And many of you have already heard her. TM Shamam as an amazing journey with us, Karachi Toastmaster Club. She is moving very fast from one project to another project, even from one pathway to another pathway. While people like me stuck behind the curve, she is, lifting all of us and moving very fast. Today, she is doing a project from persuasive influence. Already, she is already a persuasive speaker. It is level 1. The speech is about researching and presenting. For this speech, a member is expected to learn or review the basic research method and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. She is free to choose the topic of her choice, but she has to present it in a research form. So over to you, TM Shamam Khan.
Thank you, my evaluator Toastmaster Asghar. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. As a nation, we are in a festive mood. No, it's not about cricket match. It's Eid al-Azha around the corner. The other day, my nephew brought me a WhatsApp group of boys from around Pakistan sharing all sorts of national, international, geographical associations with the cattle that are available for sacrifice. There was Australian cow, Punjabi cow, Swiss goat, a goat from KP, Curry camel, and Arabic camel. It was all about the funfair and festivity around it that everyone was busy in. And then, suddenly, last week, rain in Karachi happened. That created a havoc in the city due to urban flooding and whatnot. And believe me, the whole festivity, the fun around throughout Pakistan had shifted to serious discussions about politics. And it seemed as if it's not difficult to whip up an angry mob. Everyone on social media was hellbound on proving that their favorite political leadership is pure and the others are culprit. It seemed like everyone is willing to round up the mob and teach the other person, I am better than you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, did you notice the individual behavior can become a source of collective enjoyment or collective sadness? And it can affect the overall atmosphere in the country or in a place where we live in. Sometimes our individual behaviors unite us, and sometimes they rip us apart as a nation. This scenario made me want to study that how many times our nation finds reasons for collective enjoyment or opt for collective sadness. During my research, unfortunately, I found that there is very little about positive actions and it's too much about negative actions. Now, note the statistics given by Human Rights Watch in 2019 report. Now, suicide bombings, the attacks, bomb attacks in Balochistan killed around 230 people in 2019. About 1,000 honor killings every year from around Pakistan, particularly from Sindh. Child sexual abuse with 141 cases in Punjab in 2018. 479 attacks against transgender in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in 2018. What's going on? I put the same question to a family friend who happens to be a head at Pakistani Association for Mental Health. And he said, the overall content within a society is a major factor in deciding good and bad behaviors. Deprivation of basic amenities, including scarcity of justice, can result in fear, anger, helplessness, and hopelessness. And this becomes one of the reasons of outrageous behaviors. All this then becomes collective and creates a saddest environment around us. We think that anger is a fundamental human right, and putting our fingers towards others and judging others' actions is another human right. And this all does not result in a collective enjoyment in the society. It results in sadness around us. On the contrary, to address the collective enjoyment, what do we have? Have you ever thought of it? What do we have to celebrate as a nation, as a collective enjoyment? A few national and religious festivals around the year, PSL once in a while, or cricket matches once in a while. That's it. We have to bring more reasons for collective enjoyment. If every individual choose good behavior, irrespective of what problems are we going through, and irrespective of what problems are we facing in our personal and individual lives, if only we learn to put ourselves in others' shoes and be compassionate, this may result in a collective enjoyment, a peacefulness in the society. Is this too much to ask for? No, not at all. If we want a world filled with enjoyment more than sadness and have a positive ambience around us, in the nation, in the people around us, and if we dream for that, then we as a nation and then as an individual have to strike for choosing good behaviors. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we have to, with our thoughts, we make the world. It is now time indeed to condemn bad behaviors and pay special attention and specific focus towards good behaviors of acceptance, tolerance, care, and consideration. With this, we can bring a good ambience around us. This is required because we are what we think. Over to you, Toastmaster. At the same time, I would like to share my resources that I took help from for conducting this speech. I would like to share it here so whoever wants to see.
Should I
Over
include
to you,
it in
Toastmaster.
your? Should I? Okay. Personally, you will share it. Okay.
No. Yeah, it's just there. So you can continue. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can
So
see.
you can continue. And later on, if somebody wants it, I can email them to them. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, PM Shamam, when you were delivering the speech, you reminded me of one of the fastest bowlers, Sir Malcolm Marshall. Malcolm Marshall was not very tall, but on the contrary, he was very fast. He was very lethal. So you bowled very fast today and you were touching speed almost 150 kilometers per hour. So now I'm very satisfied with the performance of my team. So last we have TM Ali Ashar Anjum, and he will be evaluating by TM Shamam Khan. So TM Shamam Khan, please describe her project, please.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay. So Toastmaster Ali Ashar is going to deliver his project 2 in level 2, which is project 1 in level 2, which is about understanding your leadership style. and he has 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership styles and then to share some aspect of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. So all the best to you, Toastmaster Ashar. Let's see what you bring to us. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shamam. I believe that I am audible. Okay. Colin Powell once said that effective leaders are made, not born. They learn from trial and error and experiences. Good evening, Toastmasters. Today's themes remind me my childhood when I used to play cricket and always want to open the batting. And whenever we are going to ball first, I am also going to ball first from my team because I am too stubborn at that time. And whenever we used to play soccer, I always want to be the striker to strike the goal. But there always been one guy in all teams, those who is more concerned about the whole team, about the goal achievement, and about the situation or the crisis he's facing during the match or whatever he is doing. A captain, the leader, who is more concerned about the pitch, about the weather, or the deadliest bowler in the opponent team. And he is the true leader, because my theory of leadership proposed that our leadership is the product of our experiences, our ideologies, values, and more importantly, the crisis we are dealing with, because our crisis determine our leadership style. My leadership journey started in 2015 when I joined NAD University. When I joined NAD University, I was a shy introvert and a silent guy. In the second semester, my class advisor called me and said, Ramzan, let's sped up. Please sped up that you are going to be the next CR, the class representative of your class. At that moment, I was quite nervous. But that experience ignited the leader in me, gave me confidence, and more importantly, as I am too philosophical and good at analysis and quite observant. So I observed that we all class, the whole class is suffering with a crisis. We are in a crisis and we all are struck with the identity crisis at that moment. Because as being the student of the development studies, a very new field in NAD University, we don't know what we are doing or what we are going to do after 4 years. And the situation got worsened when we struck with a wave of pessimism and our negativity start reflecting on our grades. At that moment, I decide to protest and strike against this negativity. In 2017, with my can-do attitude, I get on the field and take the strike and founded the student body NAD DSA, Development Student Association. And being the president for the 2 years in my 2-year tenure of presidentship, my fundamental goal was to restore the morale of the students, to make them know that they are doing something amazing, because they are doing what no one else is not doing. Because we all are unique at that moment. because we are the first batch of development studies, just the first batch of development studies. And my goal was to ignite and make them realize that we are more than important. My second task was the conflict resolution and building up the team. And because I believe with sheer energy and the collective wisdom, we can achieve anything. And I achieve it when we all class strike harder and get the best result ever. And we all get great result. We all get the GPA between 3.5 to 4 because we all study together, eat together, work together, helping each other, and in the end, we all celebrate it together. Because and by doing this all, my joy was parallel to the joy of the leader who is in the game. In the last minute, he strike the ball towards the goal and it's a goal. Or the player who need 6 runs on the last ball and he strike the ball and it's a 6. Like Javed did. And we all love till now. My journey of NEDDSA as a founding president, in my whole journey, my approach was to provide the harmonious protective environment to the student, conflict resolutions, and to restore the morale of the team. And the crisis developed me as an affiliative leader. Affiliative leader can be summarized as an individual that are often more sensitive to value people than achieving the goal, because we believe that if you to provide the good environment and fulfills the all requirement of the people, they will get you the best result. As expressed by the Daniel Goleman, the affiliative leader is described as the people come first. Yes, for me, people come first. And I can confirm that my leadership style is affiliative for leadership, and I learn it from experiences and the crisis. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Without wicketkeeper, our team was incomplete. So TM Ali Ashar, you were our wicketkeeper, and although wicket track was very fast, but behind the wicket, you were really superb. You were diving everywhere, and you reminded me of one of the greatest legends like Syed Kirmani, Wasim Bari, and Jeffrey Dujan. So great job, TM Ali Ashar. And now I believe that prepared species session has been done. Right? So before moving to the next segment, I would like to ask from the timer that has everybody has been qualified. Please tell us.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Only one speaker, Toastmaster Asghar Ramzan, didn't qualify. Rest of the speakers are qualified.
Okay. So now it's the time for voting, and I would like to request to the voter, please. So please float the names on the screen, so we will be able to cast our votes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. I will be sharing the link just now, and you all will have 1 minute to vote, and then I will close out the voting. Thank you.
I suggest that when the link is floated, Toastmaster of the day can continue with the next phase. And meanwhile, we can all click the link and cast our votes to save time.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Jeffrey Boycott, where are you?
Please continue, Toastmaster Farhan.
Okay, sorry, I was disconnected. So, counting session has been done.
Yes.
Okay, so now I would like to hand over my charge to one of the greatest, finest Toastmaster team, Ghulam Qadir. So please keep continuing, team Ghulam Qadir. Hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Captain, Toastmaster of the day. And
Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir.
yes.
Just wanted to remind you that you can call only 5 speakers.
Okay, but I've got numerous requests pending with me. Okay, I'll try my best to accommodate those 5 lucky ones. So I have been assigned to select the best 5 because now I will be doing the role of a selector. So we have witnessed the first innings. The batsmen batted so well, pretty well on a flat track. The bowlers were exceptionally well. We have seen some good swing bowling. We have seen some good spin bowling. So it's time for the second innings. So in second innings, this is the table topic session. So what happens in the table topic session that I'll be calling randomly Toastmasters and the guests who are in the meeting, and I'll be displaying some good quotation by experienced cricketers who have played an exceptional cricket. So I'll be starting. Can I share the screen over here?
Yes, you can.
Let me share the screen so that my team can start batting. Okay, Ji. So let me see who's the first one. Oh, please don't consider this as a political post. He used to be a cricketer as well at one point in time. So his quote is, compromise for your dream, but never compromise on your dream. So for this, let me call Toastmaster Saad Shoaib. Toastmaster Saad Shoaib, over to you. You have 1 minute and maximum you can speak for 2 minutes. And the word of the day is strike.
Okay. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, what a wonderful, wonderful table topic I've just received. And what do you know? Is by the best captain in Pakistan's history, Mr. Imran Khan. Well, what I can say about him. He was an absolute legend of the game, the best all-rounder Pakistan has ever seen. All-rounder. And this quote actually reminds me that he used when Pakistan was in a very bad shape during the World Cup, but we we lost match after match, match after match, practice matches, lost to very minor teams. But 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 only only this guy believed that yes, we can win the World Cup. And at the very end, may it be in Zimamul Haq, may it be Wasim Akram, may it be anyone. But if if the dream wasn't alive, Pakistan would have never won the World Cup. So over to you, Mr. Chief Selector.
आपने घबराना नहीं है.
All right. That was an excellent batting by Toastmaster Saad Shoaib. You did a marvelous hitting and you just threw the ball out of the park. So let's go on to our next quotation. And for this, may I please call Toastmaster DTM Maria. DTM Maria, over to you. And this is the quote by Wasim Akram. First of all, convince yourself that you are the best, because the rest of your life is going to go proving to this to others. Let's hear from you, DTM Maria.
Can you repeat the quotation, please? Sorry, I missed it.
Okay, it's already shared on the screen, but I'll again repeat. First of all, convince yourself that you are the best, because the rest of the life is going to go proving this to others.
All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, table topic master, honorable guest. First, I need to prove myself that I am the best. Reminds me of the quotation, or you can say idiom, that we used to read in our childhood called charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. Why is it called so? If we look into the in-depth meaning of it, it has diversified meanings. It means that first you have to believe in yourself, trust yourself, have faith in yourself, then you can go about improving others. Apart from it, it's not necessary to prove others what you think, what you want to do, and what you want to achieve, as it's irrelevant for them, and all they want to do is just bring you down, pull your leg, or somehow they want to destroy your dream. So looking at this quotation, I would only like to say that believe in yourself, have faith in yourself, and follow your dream. Don't think about anything. Don't prove anything to anyone, and just focus on it. And with the hard work and determination, one can surely achieve its dream, regardless what other things, what others want to do, and what others have got to do. Only focus on your dream and try to improve your surroundings for yourself and for the betterment of others and the community. Over to you, table topic master.
Wow, excellent batting. Now let's see. So these were the experienced players of my team. So I'll be now calling the emerging players, the under 19 players, and they are getting prepared for the under 19 World Cup. So let me just call our guest, Sania Javed. Sania Javed, can you please unmute your mic?
Yes.
Yes, Miss Sania Javed. So I'll be sharing a screen with you. And this is the quotation by the little master Sachin Tendulkar. And he says, please throw stones, people throw stones at you, and you convert them into milestones. Word of the day is strike. You have to use the word of the day strike. You can speak for minimum 1 minute and maximum to 2 minutes. Over to you. Ms. Sania, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yes, please. People throw stones at you and you convert them into milestones.
Hmm. Whenever we start our journey, people don't believe you. They don't believe you at all. But when you achieve something, then there's a milestone, and when you look behind, you see that all those people who threw stones on you are now praising you. So I was so unprepared. I don't know what to say.
Miss Sania, you're breaking up. Your voice is breaking up. You can start all over again, please.
When we start
I
our
think
journey, people start throwing stones at you, and you start shaking, and don't believe in yourself. But whenever the time passes and you achieve your destination, and those people who threw stones on you on your bad time, they start praising you. And that is the time when you say that you strike so well that you turn those stones into your milestones. So that's it from my side. And now head over
Thank
to
you.
TM Ghulam.
Thank you so much. This was the trial for a Toastmaster and you are selected in our
Thank
team.
you.
Congratulations. And let's see who is our another emerging player in our team.
you are now qualified to become a member. Toastmaster San.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes. Let me call Imran Sheikh. Okay, Imran Sheikh, are you Toastmaster or guest? I believe you're a guest, right? So let me just go to, okay. This is the quotation by Adam Gilchrist, an Australian wicketkeeper, batsman, opener, and he used to be an exceptional batsman, an exceptional opening batsman. So he says, a wise man learns by the mistakes of others, a fool by own. The word of the day is strike. You have 1 minute and maximum you can go up to 2 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much, Ghulam Qadir, for this wonderful topic. It is rightly said that a wise man learns from the mistakes of others and a fool learns from the mistakes of himself. The problem is there are three approaches to handle any problems or situations in our lives. Number one is the proactive approach, one is the detective approach, and one is the corrective approach. So the people who are proactive and who are always willing to take decisions on their own rather than believe or wait for the circumstances to unfold for them, they learn from the mistakes of others and they avoid mistakes that others normally do. So it is rightly said that a wise man learns from the mistakes of others and fools from themselves. But there are a lot of people who are not proactive, who are detective and corrective nature of people, and they normally uh, uh, go through the circumstances and experience difficulties, and from those difficulties they learn from the mistakes of themselves also. So we should be proactive and we should learn from the mistakes of others, and we should be focusing on our own weaknesses, and we should convert them into strengths so that we avoid mistakes and we avoid the repercussions that we face because of the mistakes that can possibly happen. So we should be focusing on the bright side, on the strengths of others and on the mistakes of others, and we should learn from them and proactively uh, help ourselves to avoid the mistakes and learn from the strengths and goodness and achievements of others. Over to you, Toastmaster of the
Thank
evening.
you very much. Thank you. I believe we had only few players who had just come in for the very first time. That is the guests. So we have one more table topic. So I'll be inviting an experienced player, an experienced Toastmaster, DTM Sharukh. for the next table topic session. And let's see what it is. Oh, it's of Shahid Afridi. And at one press conference, he said, I can still handle 10 guys like you alone. So, Mr. Sharukh, I can still handle 10 guys like you alone. And the word of the day is strike.
Thank
Over
you,
to
Table
you.
Topic Master. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Well, just like Toastmaster Babar said in the beginning, I am not a big fan of cricket. So I really wanted to raise my hand in the beginning, but everything was going go well that I did not want to say anything negative about cricket at the moment. The quotation which you have shared is about Shahid Afridi. Again, I really don't like this cricketer a lot, but what he's saying is that yes, he can take 10 guys like someone alone. Again, this bragging is the part that I really don't like this very cricketer, because we always used to sit in front of TV with hopes that something is going to happen, and immediately our hearts were broken. Maybe this cricketer is the very reason I am not in love with cricket anymore, because I still remember that I used to watch and enjoy with my family. But my father has always given me this advice that always try to learn the odds, see the situation, and then try to overcome the obstacle. If you are trying to make a big claim that yes, we can do something which is impossible, or we can prove someone wrong, this should never be our goal. Even when I joined the activity of Toastmaster, my first aim was to improve myself as a good speaker, as a good listener, especially. And then I realized that as a Toastmaster, we also get the opportunity to help others and to touch the lives of others. And this sort of brings us humility in you. If you cannot demonstrate humility as a speaker, as a Toastmaster, or as a person, I think that that you still have to learn a lot, because I have been Toastmaster for more than or around 10 years now, but I still see a lot of speakers giving brilliant speeches, learning from them every day every day something new from them. So by saying or making brag that yes, I can take 10 people like you, I don't think it is very practical. I don't think it should be encouraged. Back to Table Topic Master.
Honestly, DTM Sharukh, I always learn from you. And always it's good to hear your speeches. It's always good to hear your table topics. So we are done with the table topics, but before that, I need to ask the timer, has everyone qualified? Timer?
Yes, I'm pleased to announce that everyone is qualified.
Everybody has been selected in the team. Right. So can we have the link of poll link from the voting?
Yes, Toastmaster Ghulam, I will share the link. Can I please request the timer once more to just confirm the names? I have the list. I just want to be sure of the names one time.
Yeah, sure. First speaker was Toastmaster Saad Shoaib. आपने घबराना नहीं है. Second speaker DTM Mariam. Third speaker guest Sania Javed. Fourth one is Toastmaster Imran Sheikh. And the last one is DTM Sharukh Shanawaz.
Great, thank you so much. I'm sending the link in shortly. You can continue with the meeting, please. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
So table topics are done. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
You are muted, Toastmaster Farhan.
Okay, so before going to the general evaluation, I would like to talk about a legend of Pakistan. Basically, Pakistan is a very fertile country in terms of cricketers. If we talk about in the early 60s, we had Fazal Mahmood and Little Master Hanif Muhammad were there. And in 70s and 80s, we had a bunch of superstars, Asif Iqbal, Majid Khan, Zahir Abbas, Asian Bradpen, Asian Dawn veteran, Javed Miadad, and who can forget Imran Khan. We have won the World Cup in the captaincy of Imran Khan, and we are paying the price till now. So, and then in 90s, again, we had so many superstars, Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, Moin Khan, and Zamamul Haq. And in recent days, we have Babar Azam, Muhammad Amir, and there are so many others. So now I would like to request to DTM Sharukh Nawaz, because general evaluation will be done by DTM Sharukh. So please, over to you, DTM Sharukh.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Sorry, DTM Sharukh, sorry for interruption. Actually, Babar Ali Hasnain has requested to be called first for evaluation.
Yes, he is our first evaluator. He is our first evaluator.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Well, again, evaluation is not a part that we are always, willing to listen and go through, because we sort of listen to bad news or the bad part of ourselves, but it is a great way of learning. The golden rule which we always used to, which we should always remind ourselves for evaluation is that we should evaluate others as we want others to evaluate us. So even in the evaluation session, we are going to have some segments. It is sort of a mini Toastmasters meeting in a meeting. First, I'm going to invite all the speech evaluators, and then I'm going to invite the rule holders to present their reports. And then in the last, I'm going to present my general evaluation. So for our first speaker, we had Toastmaster Asghar, and his evaluator was Toastmaster Babar Ali Hasnain. So Toastmaster Babar Ali Hasnain, are you there? Toastmaster Babar, I cannot hear you. Are you audible?
Is it better now?
Yes. Over to you, Toastmaster Babar.
Okay. I believe I am loud and audible. Thank you,
Yes,
Toastmaster Sharukh. Thank you so much. So I'll be giving both the evaluations right now. First of Toastmaster Asghar, and then the table topic session, because I will be leaving shortly. So we'll appreciate your cooperation to let me give both the evaluations back to back. So first of all, I'll be evaluating Toastmaster Asghar, and his project was to give a speech that was full of literally figurative language. His job was to add descriptive words so that he could use those words to keep us all engaged. So here I am to evaluate him on these lines. And just a short disclaimer, during his speech, I got disconnected for like 2 to 3 minutes due to internet issues. So if I am not able to do the justice with the evaluation, kindly accept my apologies in advance. So he started off with the greetings, which is a wonderful thing. And when I consider his speech as a whole, I could see that he had all the elements of a perfect story, the descriptive story that was the need of the project. He had the humor in his speech. When he talked about Sakina, he said from Baji to Bijli. The people used to call him previously Baji, then Bijli. He used these little elements to add humor, which was a good thing. Then he used a lot of pauses. In some parts, the pauses were a great strength. It is always effective to give pauses when you want to add emphasis to any expression, any sentence, or any description. It's always good to add pauses. So he wonderfully did that. Using the tool of pauses, he excelled at giving the descriptive speech. I would say there were minor areas of improvement that can be easily addressed. Talking about the visual part of the meeting, of his speech, first of all, the light was not clear on his face. I could not actually see the expressions. So I would not give marks on the expression part because the lighting effect was not as per the need. Then the camera, it was placed like this, on way below the level of the face. So it should be somewhere around the level of your face so that it gives a good image to the listeners, to the viewers. And again, moving on to the pauses part, at some times you use them quite effectively, but then at some times they were not really required. But as the flow, it's maybe the flow of your speech, you gave a lot of pauses. So I would suggest you might need to work on the pauses area. At times they are required and you give pauses, but at times they are not really required, but you still give the pauses. And I would say to improve, to give the professional touch, even more professional touch to the speeches you are giving, especially the storytelling part, you can always YouTube the storytelling of Toastmasters, and you can learn the skill of pauses, descriptive words that will further polish your speeches in the future. And one more area that I would like to highlight: the monotone in your speech. In most part of the speech, your expressions, your tone, especially your tone was quite monotone. It was quite curious. At times it needs to be curious, but then at times it needs to be a bit low, or maybe when you need to emphasize, it can go a bit high, not always curious. So you can always adjust as per the situation. You have the natural flow of going with the tone of curiosity, but you can always switch it as per the situation. On the whole, it was great to deliver. Good to see the other side of your personality, how you describe the words, how you explain the story, and how you develop your storytelling skill. The ending note, just do a bit of research on storytelling, add them to your future speeches, and I'm sure you will make a mark in the storytelling. That's all from my side for the evaluation. And do I have the permission to go for the table topic session? As I have to leave.
You may.
Toastmaster Babar, before starting, let me tell you that for table topic evaluation, each speaker should be evaluated in 30 seconds. For that you have only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran, for the strict time criteria. Okay, starting with Toastmaster Saad. In fact, before I start, the main thing I found lacking was the vocal variety. So whenever I say the word monotone, it means you did not really fluctuate your tone as per the situation. So starting with TM Saad, he started very well with asking a question. He had a great flow of words. He was full of expressions. Everyone could see the light. I don't have words to explain how wonderfully he expressed his expressions. But again, he was monotone, being excited all the time. So it's always good if you can add your vocal variety and go as per the situation. And I would really appreciate the effort you are putting in by even joining the meeting at office. That's the best part. Keep coming, keep doing, and you will make your mark. Then DK Mariam, she had rich content, but again, monotone. Don't prove anything to anyone. You would have said it with a higher tone, with more expressions. You lacked body language, but on the whole, it was a great effort with rich content. Then we had Sania Javed, and then the best part was, despite technical issues, she managed to give the speech. She never lost the confidence, and she managed to go even with the interruptions. The speech was slightly monotone, but since you had the remarks from ex-president, you qualify. Since you qualify for the membership of Toastmasters, I won't really give any area of improvement. Then we had Toastmaster Imran Sheikh. I would like to give a big round of applause for you made sure that you stand for your speech. Everyone, apart from Toastmaster Imran Sheikh, lacked this part. It's always good to stand up whenever you are giving speech. So kudos. Then you can always add express body movements and make meaningful movements. You are moving around. It naturally happens when you are a new Toastmaster. But we are here to train you all and just attend the meetings, see the gems we have of public speakers, and you will see how to make meaningful improvements. That was all great. Lastly, DTM Sharukh, he started off with the humor. That was the best part, by stating his favorites and not favorites, quoting the golden word of Toastmaster Baba Elias. And then your camera was positioned like this, which initially add humor. I'm not sure if I can do that exactly, but it's always good to maintain a decent distance with the camera. Otherwise, it turns out to be humorous as well. Then you had great expressions, the quality of the DTM, you completely fulfilled that criteria. You had complete vocal variety. It has been more than a decade I have been Toastmasters. So complete expressions, vocal variety, everything was there. Just because the camera was closed, I could not really see your body language. So maintain decent distance with the camera, show your body language, and then I'm sure you will be winning the title of Best Table Topic Master. That's all from my side. Thank you so much, and thank you for your cooperation. Over to Toastmaster Saad.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babar. Our next speech evaluator is Toastmaster Imran Rana, and he is going to be evaluating Toastmaster Uroosa.
Sorry, DTM Sharukh, I will request that we take Toastmaster Shamam first.
Okay.
If she's there, because she was
Toastmaster Shamam as an evaluator, right?
Yes, yes, because
okay, so
but I think because she was actually also waiting for power outage and she requested to go first. But I believe now the power has gone. Maybe let's check.
Toastmaster Shamam, are you with us?
No, I don't think so. Okay, fine. Actually, I suggested to her that she can record her evaluation as a video and share with us later if power doesn't come back. So we can continue with the thing.
So Toastmaster Imran Rana, I invite you to evaluate Toastmaster Uroosa Mohsin.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator DTM Sharukh Shanawaz. Today, Toastmaster Uroosa, one of our seasoned, eloquent speaker, and also the winner of the area contest, international speech contest, was delivering her project about her blog. Please accept my sincere apology. I was a little confused between blog and the podcast. So that was the little confusion that's trickled down to you as well. Okay, so okay, Toastmaster Uroosa. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, and I am so inspired that despite you were not feeling well, you were not so good, you showed up and delivered your project, and hats off for that. So okay, so you were telling us about your blog. Toastmaster Uroosa is a certified trainer in international linguistic programming. If you really want to know what is that that TLP, for that you need to visit uroosa.mohsin, and you will entered in the colorful world of Toastmasters Uroosa, where she write a blog about how to take care of your health through exercise. A good blog consists of good knowledge, ideas, and experience, and compelling content. I found everything was there. The only area of improvement I found in today's speech was due to her bad health, not so good health. Her energy level was little low. Since she is a very energetic speaker, so I observed that her energy level was low, and the technical side, I observed that she was not completely in her frame. Her face was more towards the left side, and it was not coming into a proper frame. With all this minute improvement, you can, I know you can do it in your next project. You will definitely do wonders. And once again, I would like to congratulate you, and hats off to your encouragement, your courage, your passion for on delivering your project. So with that, over to you, Toastmaster DTM Sharukh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Our next evaluator is DTM Talha, and he is going to be evaluate DTM Uneeb. DTM Talha, the charge is yours.
Thank you so much, Journal Evaluator. Okay, let me just open the evaluation sheet. Okay. So, DTM Uneeb, you delivered an icebreaker. And there's something that I am fond of saying. It's kind of become a catchphrase with me, that no matter who you are, who do you think you are, and what you think you've done, you're only as good as your latest speech, and your club is only as good as its latest meeting. The past doesn't mean anything unless you reflect it in everything that you do. And we saw a personification of that in DTM Uneeb's speech today. And by the way, this is one of the things that I've learned at the feet of people like you and DTM Samir and others, DTM Zaid, Rashid, that you have to display your credentials in everything you do. And that's why DTM Uneeb's icebreaker was not an ordinary icebreaker, because he's gone once around the DTM journey. He made it tough for himself, and he made it challenging for the audience as well. He started in a very interesting manner, and it has been one of the best starts to an icebreaker that I've ever witnessed. Full of verve, gestures, vocal variety, use of sound effects, humor, and he even ventured into absurdity, all within a few first lines. So again, that shows not only your experience, but your willingness to put that experience to good use, and that's thoroughly admirable. You placed your life before us. We got to know about your family. We got to know about your upbringing, about how you are the youngest of your siblings, about your career. And it was a thoroughly entertaining ride. Somehow you managed to make every part of your life engaging and interesting, and a life lesson as well. I have just one minor improvement area, and that is that when you transitioned into the conclusion of your speech, it turned slightly into a lecture, and it lost its verve and enthusiasm, and the sudden shift of tone was jarring, to me at least. So maybe you could have transitioned more smoothly, and you could have reserved some of the humor and the jokes for the very end as well, because by the end it was very serious and it had lost some of its initial energy. So yes, I know that, not contrary to what popular belief, not everything should be delivered while doing cartwheels on stage and while jumping around on stage and while raising your voice and lowering it pointlessly. No, that's not the requirement at all. The only thing I'm saying is that just a little more oomph in your last few lines would have been more welcome, and perhaps you could have ended with a memorable life lesson, never a quote, because I don't advocate quotes at all, something that you learned or some humorous remark. But again, amazing icebreaker, and can't wait to hear more of your speeches. Over to you, General Velvet.
Thank you, DTM Talha. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Mariam, and I evaluated her speech. So Toastmaster Mariam Arif presented her project presentation 1, evaluation and feedback. The title of her speech was The Lessons of History That No One Learns. Well, she messaged me the evaluation sheet before the meeting, which shows her professionalism, and I really admire this. World War II, the dreaded gunshot. It all started with this one gunshot. Very beautiful ending. Words and emotion, they were all connected together, and she spoke very passionately. Eye contact was there. It is not an easy job to maintain eye contact when we are performing in these online meetings. Hand movements, voice modulation, excellent use of pauses, great use of adjectives, and she presented her arguments very well. She set the premises that by saying what should have happened next, and then she presented her arguments and the sequence of all the events. She also then compared the situation of India and Pakistan and the conflict between Iran, US, and so on and so forth. Great conclusion that no one learns. You may want to work on. Well, to tell you the truth, I cannot think of anything. You are a very great speaker. I must admit this. But if there is something that you are going to hear from someone, it is going to be that your audience might have difficulty relating to the topic. You were saying Tojo, Versailles, Francis Ferdinand. So this can be said, but I would like to present argument against this statement that I think that you were very successful in presenting a very difficult topic in a very simplified manner for all of us. So if an argument is there, there is also a counter argument. Otherwise, I cannot think of any improvement that could have been made in your presentation of this speech. I would like to make one small comment. I know it is you are the star and you are supposed to shine, and I'm not supposed to make it about myself. But I also presented a speech about World War I and World War II. And these two events are very close to my heart. And Toastmasters Amir Dhodi evaluated me on that speech. So it brought back wonderful old memories. Honestly, I really can't think of anything. Really can't wait to listen to more of your projects. Congratulations on completing this project. Our next speaker was Mohsin Jamal, and he was evaluated by Toastmaster Hiba Rais. Toastmaster Hiba Rais, are you there with us? Toastmaster Hiba?
Yes. Okay.
So Toastmaster Hiba, the charge is all yours. Wish you all the best.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, TM's Mohsin spoke about a topic which is quite interesting and unique, which is about mechanical watches. Watches are a part of our daily lives and is an essential component with which we cannot hope to operate in our daily lives. And mechanical watches are the same as they're classified into manual and automatic. Okay. TM Mohsin spoke about a very unique topic, like I said earlier, and during the time he spoke, he had good clarity and confidence. He also had a good eye contact, since I saw him constantly looking at the camera. I also saw that the audience were quite aware about what you were speaking, and we could connect with what you were saying about the mechanical watches and the quartz watch. And also, since you were quite comfortable and confident, I also thought that you were quite comfortable during the time you spoke, because you were quite confident about the topic. And I thought that you had done good research about it. And the topic that you spoke about was quite interesting, as watches is, like I said, something which we use in our daily lives, and we should know about the components, the parts of it. And I also thought that your speech was quite well rehearsed, and I could not detect any sort of stuttering or any sort of, nervousness. However, like every other speech, there's some gray areas which I thought you could improve upon. The first one was you lacked vocal variety. It was in a constant monotone, and you should have inculcated vocal variety in your speech. And I also thought that since you were sitting, you lacked gestures. You should have stood up and delivered your speech and emphasized upon more gestures to explain your point. And that's about it. And I thought in the end, it was a pretty good speech. And with the improvements that I've highlighted, you are on the way towards becoming a good speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Heba. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Anam, and she was evaluated by Toastmaster Uroosa Kanwal. So, Toastmaster Uroosa Kanwal, are you there?
Yes.
The charge is all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Anam, you spoke about, you had two speeches today. So I'll be evaluating them as one since it was about one project. And all right, so your first speech was the opener and it told us about how confident you were and about completing your project. And despite your principal looking at you really disapprovingly, you still went on with it. So that was the leader shining in you. And it was the person saying, take on the role and then figure it out later. You also told us that you wrote the script and then you went about creating that character, Charlotte Holmes. And then you created a PR strategy, Sherlock and Charlotte. And then you told us about how the spirit of the actors was their tantrums. They wanted to do everything and then nothing. They started whining, fighting phase. Then like every hit movie there is, everyone vanishes and then reappears. So it was a complete fairy tale in one package. In the end, everything came together and it was a huge success. Your message of the whole speech was really clear, teamwork, from the beginning till the end. And however, I felt that your screen appearance while you were giving the speech was a little darkened. You could have not used the light in your back, maybe something that could throw light from the front, so we could see your expressions. That is what we missed, especially when you were telling us about how the kid was whining. I could hear the voice, but I could not see what your expressions were. It would have been really fun to watch. Your strongest trait, I would say, is imitating with humor and creating a rather funny and entertaining story. I hope you continue to create scripts and inspire children. It is really, really hard to do that. Over to you, Toastmaster Sharukh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uroosa. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Shamam Khan, and she was evaluated by Toastmaster Asghar. Toastmaster Asghar, please, the charge is all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator Sharukh Shanawaz. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, TM Shamam. It was an effective presentation of your research regarding the impact of individual behavior over our collective mode. You referred your resources in support of your points during the presentation, which was the demand of the project. So congratulations for that. You did that well. I'm not going into the detail of your eye contact, your confidence, and your volume because they were excellent. So I'm not going to describe them in detail, and especially your confidence. You know, when you speak, your confidence radiates from your spoken words. You presented your resources in a very well prepared speech with a strong opening. You know, you said we are in our festive mode. But then you started to talk, you said that this festive mode is not about cricket, which is the prevailing discussion in the initial half an hour of the meeting, but it's all about sacrifices. And then you organized your speech, you explained and elaborate your point, how that festive converted into the political mudslinging after the devastating rain, and you how the individual effect and the collective enjoyment of the sadness. Then you went on to elaborate this phenomena with the reference of some very authoritative papers and documents by mentioning the suicides, killings, and the child abuse figures. Before concluding your discussion, you concluded very well by saying that we are what we think. I think this was the prime sentence of your speech to me. Sometime when a poor evaluator finds it difficult to observe something significant for improvement, then he, like me, usually resorts to nitpicking. So here is at least one area I can dig out. Well, as you said that you have a good reference, and I've seen those references. I have seen you at your disposal, how you use them in support of your argument. But you could have improved the way you referred them in your spoken form, I mean in your speech. For example, you could have said that what this human rights report is all about, what does it do usually? Um, and then you might have come up that, for example, while describing the report, the Human Rights Report of 2019 came up with a startling facts and says that so and so number of the people were killed, which is the highest in South Asia. You know, by comparison, when we referring the things, we usually go by comparison in order to uh, in order to make them highlighted in support of what we are saying. But then, TM Shamam, we all know that each speech is a learning experience to fine tune our style, and that is what we all do, and you are no exception. So, you know, let's take it as an experiment, learning experiment to improve upon it. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Ali Ashar, but I don't think so. Toastmaster is Shamam with us. Toastmaster Shamam, are you with us?
Yes, I am here. I'm here.
Oh, very good, very nice. I was very sad. I was very sad knowing that you could not join us. Toastmaster Shamam, the charge is all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. And yes, KE has been very kind to me today. Toastmaster Ali Ashar delivered his speech about understanding his leadership style. And I must congratulate you that you served the purpose of the project very well. That was identifying your primary leadership style. And there are 8 given in the project manual. And this shows your dedication towards the project. Like you spent good enough time in identifying, not only identifying, but sharing some aspects, like you selected your time at engineering college and brilliantly linked it with your efforts to create a unit and team building and conflict resolutions in your team. So this shows that you have gone through the project and picked up one of the leadership styles out of 8 leadership styles. And I really appreciate your conclusion and announcement of your leadership style that was affiliative. You know what? You saved me from going through 8 of the leadership styles because I was doing the same thing. I was trying to fit your descriptions in one of the styles, and here you came with announcing your affiliative leadership style, and that was great. You saved my time. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your thing, this point of yours. I really like the quotes you used. You used several, but one specific was "people come first," and that was said in such a clarity and power and pitch that it directly hit me with this, and I remembered it. There were a couple of more, but I did miss them writing about it or listening around it. Um, one one thing, you know, you mentioned an example from Javed Miadad, right? You quoted something. So I was thinking that maybe it could have been more from your heart and could have, you know, attracted us as an audience more if you have narrated some of your own experience or example. You know, you narrated other people quotes and what they said around it and what they experienced around it, but it could be more like more closer to our heart if you had narrated something from your experiences while exercising this affiliative leadership style. You know, because we all know when other people are reacting to our leadership styles. So this was one thing that you can improve on. It was a confident delivery. I appreciate your pitch, power, the clarity of words that you were speaking were amazing. This was amazing, I must say. It was really clear and each and every word could be heard very well. So overall, your dedication to incorporating the purpose of speech with details is appreciated. You just need to incorporate more of your personal examples and experiences for better audience engagement. Keep up the power of Toastmasters with you. All the best, Toastmaster Ashar. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shamam.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shamam. Thank God you were able to join us. I would have been really sad if you were not able to present the evaluation. Now, moving on to our next part, which is voting for the best evaluator. So, vote counter, would you be sharing us with the link of the list of evaluators?
Timer needs to be consulted first.
Yes. Before that.
Yes, timer.
Thank you.
Has every evaluator qualified?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster DTM Sharukh Shanawaz. Those who qualified for voting are DTM Talha bin Hamid, DTM Sharukh Shanawaz, Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar, and Toastmaster Shamam Khan.
So, vote counter, please share the link of the speakers. And while she is sharing the link, I think we should proceed with the reports. So, first report from our grammarian. Is our grammarian with us?
Yes, I'm the grammarian.
Please.
Okay, so I'm thoroughly flabbergasted and flummoxed and completely at a loss because today was the weirdest grammarian session I've ever been part of. I struggled to spot any grammatical errors, whereas I ran out of space to note the good usage of grammar today. So yes, today the speeches, and it was overall exceptional, I must say. Although the grammarian is not supposed to comment, but I must say that exceptional oration today in all departments. So first, let's start with the few errors that I noted. Someone said start to begin, it should be about to begin. Ear on the ground, ear to the ground. Look forward from you could have been expect from you. Work on a similar principle. This was left hanging. This works on a similar principle. It could have been work on a similar principle to something. It should have been connected. Someone said donate to the SOS village. Donate to SOS village should too much to. Someone said, is that too much to ask for? While not grammatically incorrect, I'm just nitpicking here, honestly. But usually we say, is that too much to ask? And then someone said bad health / not so good health. So perhaps a better expression could have been used. Those were honestly the errors that I spotted. And now on to the good usage. Okay, sweet breeze. Cutthroat competition, a love affair gone wrong, dramatic backdrop, ticks all the boxes, inch towards her. Tea is meant to be slurped. They have one thing in common, they all are Toastmasters. Thoughts have power. Armistice, war to end all wars. Is it scrollable? Collective enjoyment, collective sadness. Brings you down, pull your leg and destroy your dreams. And that was said during a table topic, and again, thoroughly impressive. It has to be a DTM who can pull that phrase out during an extempore speech. Repercussions, that this cricketer is the reason that I'm not in love with cricket anymore. Over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Talha, for presenting your grammarian report. Next is Word Master, Toastmaster Uroosa.
Thank you,
Toastmaster
General
Uroosa, are you with us? Okay.
Yeah.
The charge is yours.
Thank you. The word of the day was strike, and it was used by Toastmaster Asghar, Toastmaster Mariam, and Toastmaster Ali Ashar in prepared speeches. And during the table topics, I don't think anyone used it. Over to you.
Guest used
Thank
it.
you, Toastmaster Uroosa.
Okay, guest used it once. I missed that.
Is the report complete, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Toastmaster Uroosa, thank you very much for your report. Our counter, Toastmaster Hiba.
Yes. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, TM Asghar Ramzan during the prepared speeches used one and two ums. And after that, I got disconnected for a while because I had power shortage at my place. So the person who was supposed to do the R counter role for me gave me this short report that TM Farhan used 3 R's and DTM Talha used 1 R. And then after that, TM Anam Qadri, 2 R's, dramatic, play, and proud are the repeated words. TM Mariam, 1 R, TM Mohsin, 2 R's, TM Shamam, 1 R, and the repeated words are human right, what do we have, collective enjoyment. And TM Mohsin, the repeated word was the. TM Ali Ashar, 1 R, and crisis is the repeated word. Okay, for the table topic session, Saad Shoaib, 1 R, TM Maria, 1 R, and TM Imran, 1 R, DTM Sharukh, I couldn't detect anything. Guest Sania, 2 R's. That's about it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hiba, for presenting a wonderful report. Then we have listener, Toastmaster Latif. Toastmaster Latif, are you with us?
Yes, always.
The charge is all yours.
Good evening, everyone. My role was to take out some positive, catchy words, sentences. So please, everyone ready?
Sorry, Toastmaster. Everyone, please unmute your mics so that you can.
Yes. Knight in shining armor.
Toastmaster Asghar.
Asghar. Genius is one inspiration and 99.
Toastmaster of the day.
Genius is one inspiration and 99 inspiration.
That's DTM Uneeb.
Awesome, sir. Thought has power.
DTM Uneeb.
Yes, DTM Uneeb.
One word was always familiar with Mohsin Jamal. Complications. I don't know how many times he has used it.
Well, actually, he's a doctor, that's why.
Yes, absolutely.
Something nice and blooming.
Toastmaster Shamam, was it?
Mohsin Jamal.
No. I'll move ahead. It's TM Anam Qadri.
Oh, okay.
Restore the morale.
Toastmaster Ali Ashar.
Correct. Strike good behaviors.
Shamam.
Shamam.
Everybody was tentative today. Demonstrate humility.
Mariam?
No, that's Toastmaster DTM Sharukh.
Right. Amazing. Age is worst nightmare.
Asghar.
Correct.
Asghar Ramzan.
Do I have more time? I can continue, or that's.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Yes,
Okay,
go ahead.
Convert them to strength.
Go wild.
No, I don't have much.
Can you repeat this?
Convert them to strength.
Toastmaster Shamam or Toastmaster Ali Ashar?
कौन बनेगा करोड़पति नहीं चल रहा सर.
Your time is up. You are disqualified.
Convert them to strength. Please, I'll say this last.
It's your own.
Can you
No,
say that
Imran
again,
Sheikh.
please?
Imran Sheikh.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
last.
me.
Yes. Life lessons.
Mariam, Toastmaster Mariam.
I knew this will be difficult for everyone. Life lessons.
Asghar.
Hope
No.
you have heard this every time from one person only, but still. Sir, you can also say
This
it.
is DTM Sharukh, I think.
No, no. DTM, but Talha.
All right.
Very nice.
Right.
I think
It is
it's more than
evaluation.
enough, actually. Yeah.
Very
Thank
nice
you.
one. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lateef. Now, the last report from Toastmaster Imran Rana, the guy with the authority to tell us not to speak. Toastmaster Rana, the charge is all yours.
Since I have given my report on timely basis, so there is no need for that report. So you can continue with your general information.
Okay. Thank you, timer. Well, I think the report are complete. I don't think anyone is remaining. So I would now like to present my general evaluation. Well, the meeting started a bit late due to electronic issues, but again, holding online meetings is not a difficult. It is a very difficult task. So we are trying our best to hold online meetings, and this is really appreciated. Minutes of the last meeting were presented, and the charge was handed over to the president, who invited Toastmaster of the evening. Toastmaster evening started with wearing the cricket helmet. He took us to the Toastmaster Stadium, and then there were cricket puns, and then there was cricket commentary. I think I will never forget this meeting. And if I ever watch a cricket match again, it is all because of our Toastmaster of the evening. He has the entire credit of making me fall in love with cricket once again. Word of the day was strike, and today we had two joke masters. I think this was a very wonderful move by the president or the VP Education that we had two joke masters, and I think we should also have next time we should have three joke masters because the more the
Sorry to
merrier.
interrupt, DTM Sharukh Shanawaz, but that was my idea of having a dual joke master, because in the schedule my name is written. TM Mohsin didn't know, but I gave him the gracious opportunity to throw a joke towards us as well. So
Unique
next
bike.
time you should also name a third speaker as well, a third joke master as well.
Unique
Hiba,
bike
you have all
70.
the honors.
Unique bike 70cc Toastmaster Hiba, you won.
Yes. Thank you.
Then we had Toastmaster of the, then we had Table Topic Master Ghulam Qadir. Great table topic session, presenting quotes from cricketers. And there was this one problem that there are so many speakers, how can we accommodate all of them? So it is my suggestion that those speakers those members or guests who are not performing any roles, they should be first invited as the speakers. And then if we have some time left, then other speakers. And it is always better to invite the experienced speaker before the new speaker so that they can learn a lot from him. So this is a sort of a technique which has been being used since day one, since I have joined Toastmasters. Moving on, I am a dinosaur and I am a very old Toastmaster. So seeing all the young Toastmasters, especially female members, was very refreshing. And I'm requesting all our female members, Toastmaster Hiba, Toastmaster Shamam, Toastmaster Anam, Mariam, Uroosas, all the Uroosas, that please become DTM. Do not stop giving speeches, because when I was a Toastmaster, and I don't mean I mean in the olden days or in the beginning of the club meetings, there were no young Toastmasters, there were no female Toastmasters. So we desperately want female DTMs. And Toastmaster Imran, Toastmaster Talha, and Toastmaster Uroosa are the perfect team to help you guys out and every one of us out. To table topic evaluator, Toastmaster Babar, great evaluation, especially my evaluation, because he was acting like me, that I am always, very uncomfortable with the camera. Basically, he was teaching me that Sharukh, stop being an old dinosaur and start learning technology. So yes, Toastmaster Bauer, if you are listening, I am going to improve on that. Use technology more and more. Unfortunately, there were no tea. There were no biscuits. Downside of online meetings, but there are also advantages. We have
There
spread
was
our
also
limits.
no
We have spread our limits. Yes, sorry, TTM Tala, what? Come again?
there was also no 550 rupees meeting charge.
Yes, obviously. But we have spread our limits. We are welcoming guests from across the borders and from other countries. So this is all a wonderful experience. My personal favorite moment from today's meeting was the word fundamental human rights for Toastmaster Shamam. And I think we should use this word a lot. I was so happy today because as a lawyer, Toastmaster DTM Tala is always scolding me not to be a lawyer, be a Toastmaster. So today I was very happy that Toastmaster Shamam was being a lawyer. And Toastmaster Ali Ashar, personal comment to you that from last few meetings you have been continuously participating. So this is really appreciated, and I really hope that you will continue participating as a member, as a role holder, and as a speaker. Please do not stop. And uh, I should also learn to see the chat box because they were constantly changing, being informed to us in the chat, and I was unable to follow the chat. So I, as a general evaluator or as a role holder in the future, will try myself to continuously see the chat. And again, it was a great team effort, a very wonderful meeting, and I enjoyed this entire experience a lot. And I really hope that in the future we are not going to allow anything to stop us. We will continue holding online meetings in the hotels. Again, maybe in the future we will be able to meet face to face again, but nothing is going to stop us. With this, I would like to hand over Tajaj to Toastmaster of the evening.
Toastmaster Sharukh, I would like to say something. Since few of the old dinosaurs are reborning again, when are you going to reborn? When are you going to deliver your icebreaker?
Inshallah soon. Inshallah soon. But I have bought my new laptop. Here it is. So inshallah, I'm going to set up the entire thing, and I really want to be prepared for my icebreaker. So inshallah, very soon.
Very good evaluation, TTM Sharukh Shanawaz. And before going to the conclusion, I would like to say something that before starting the match today, I was a bit nervous because that was my first experience. And in afternoon, I thought that I should quit. But when I entered in the ground, I forgot everything. I was just playing. I was not playing for losing and winning. And I knew that I have only 3 hours, make it or break it. So I enjoyed a lot, and I believe that I won the match. So now I hand over the charge to the president. So please summarize the meeting in your own words. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the evening. Yes, we had a fair match. And now we will find out who the winners are. So let's head over to the vote counter and see who won. Or before that, vote counter, would you float the voting for best big score?
Yes, exactly. That's what I was about to say. I'll just do that just now.
I think we can take comment from guests, Madam President, in the meantime.
Yeah. We have yes. Left. Yes. Miss Sania, could you unmute your mic? All right. So what did you think and what do you think about the meeting? Sania, we can't hear you. All right. So we have Toastmaster Imran Sheikh with us. He gave a table topic session also. So Toastmaster Imran.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk on the table topic speeches. And today's meeting was very good, but bit lengthy one, lot of prepared speeches and very few table topics. So overall, it was a very good meeting.
All right. Thank you so much. And that's about it. Toastmaster, sorry, Miss Sania is having a bit of difficulty with the mic. So the voting, yes, the voting link has been floated. Please, everyone, vote for the Big Four. The Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Farhan, the Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, the Table Topic Evaluator, and the General Evaluator. Let's do this in 1 minute.
Timer, can you let me know when the 1 minute is up? Thank you.
Actually, timer has been disconnected, so I will let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Meanwhile, let's announce the Critics' Choice Awards. So who do you think won the Critics' Choice Best Speaker? The speech that stood the test of the international speech ballot.
Ali Ashar. Ali Ashar.
No, TM Mariam Arif.
Yes, I'm conflicted between those two and Toastmaster Shamam. They had very, very compelling speeches.
TM Mariam.
All right, so
Mariam.
DTM Uneeb.
Everyone's very close. So it is TM Mariam. In fact, TM Mariam, she won the Critics' Choice. And Critics' Choice for the Best Facilitator.
Imran Rana.
Hiba is like, no, not Imran.
No, because he interrupted more than anybody else.
Actually, I was talking,
Team Latif.
saying no to my mom.
Oh, okay.
Team Latif.
Yes, Toastmaster Latif.
Thank you.
Congratulations, both of you. Toastmaster Ina, are the votes in?
Yes. 1 moment.
And can we have all the winners?
Sure. Okay, so so drum roll, please. The best prepared speaker of today by viewer's choice is the same as the Critics' Choice Award, Toastmaster Mariam
wow.
Arif. Congratulations.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row.
Yeah,
Our
critics
best,
and
yeah. Our best table topic speaker today was none other than DTM Sharukh Shanawaz. Sir, we look forward to your prepared speeches as well. The best evaluator, and this was a very close call, was Toastmaster Shamam Khan. And by an overwhelming majority, like the kind that you have in country elections, landslide win. Our best of the big four was our Toastmaster of the evening with his excellent insights into cricket and commentary and bringing people who were cricket haters back to the sport. Well done. Over to
Well
you,
done,
President.
Toastmaster of the evening. Well done, Toastmaster Farhan. So with that, it's now past our closing time and we should be logging off. So let's meet the same place next week with another theme and another exciting Toastmaster of the evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Let me just say one thing. Today's meeting was the smoothest in recent memory in terms of speaker lineup and confirmations. So everyone, please keep it up. Thank you for lining up to speak and thank you for honoring your commitment without any follow-up. And let's keep it up. Over.
DTM,
Thank
it
you
was
so
smooth because I muted everyone.
No, I'm talking
I want
about
to add
before.
something.
Okay.
DTM
Thank you, everyone.
Talha, I want to request something that please send the invites of the meetings on time on the guest link so that we can join on time, please. Hello?
Actually,
All right.
Toastmaster Imran, there was a small technical issue. We were all trying to
Sorry?
log on in time. That might have been why you were not able to log on.
Toastmaster Imran, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying that because I was unable to see the link on the guest WhatsApp group, I joined the meeting bit late.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out. Yes, it was my mistake. I forgot to post it on the guest group. But also keep on the lookout on our Facebook page. If it's not on the guest group, it should be on the guest group, but even if it's not, it should be on the Facebook page. Otherwise, it is usually the same link, the same number and the same password every week, okay? So you can join every Wednesday 6:30 using the same login and the same password. Okay, Toastmaster Imran?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, everyone. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.